Hi Scorpio, welcome to your reading for Aquarius season. We are going to determine what you got to let go and leave in 2025, okay? And you kind of know that you have to. That's part of your theme. This is not news to you, but we will see if we can try to help you with whatever struggle you're encountering, okay? We're also going to determine what you should focus more on and expect for yourself in this year and the outcome of that. All right, and then we'll dive in with the Rider Waite and pull out some oracle cards because I just love doing those three in combination. It just allows the messages to come a little easier. Okay, Scorpio, welcome to the Witch Switch, where we switch off everyday normal life and switch onto the witchery. If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you again. If you want a private reading, you can, follow my link, my website, thewitchswitch.com. I do Zoom readings, and I'm currently doing a 30% off promotion. It's called the New Year, the New Me sale. So any reading of your choice on my website, put in resolutions 26 at checkout, and we can get that started for you. Okay, if you want an in-person reading, I will be doing events again this year. So if you're living in the New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania area, follow me on Instagram. That's usually where I list all of my events and where I'll be attending, okay? All right, Scorpio, I can't wait to get into it. I think this is going to be a really good spread for you this year. And we'll see what the year will be like with you at the same time. And if it's anything that we can avoid, we will absolutely go over that. So, because you deserve to have a prosperous year. We all do, okay? So, let's see what we got here, Scorpio. What you need to leave behind, the Two of Cups. So there's a specific relationship that perhaps, for some of us, it could have ended already. And we have to just let it go. There's no sense in reconciling. Something is done. It is what it is. Or you may feel that you need to start letting go of someone. And if you're getting that feeling now, you could definitely leave them with 2025. We're still very fresh into the new year. We haven't even got into the Chinese New Year, which starts in February. So you still have a little bit of time. And I think for a lot of us, changes don't really start until Aries season anyway. It's the spring. Capricorn season is not a time of new beginnings. It's a time of rest. And also being able to take ourselves out of certain bounds that no longer, serve us and instead hurt us more. What you should focus on is the Eight of Wands this year, which I love because you are someone who can be very giving and loyal, but you don't always get that in return. This year, you're going to be focused on receiving more. Allow people, allow things to find you. Don't go after them, okay? The Tower for 2026. That's probably also going to be the theme for you as well, okay? But don't be afraid of the Tower. Sometimes the Tower is there to kind of shake us a bit when we are too rigid and stubborn to do it ourselves. And you're a fixed water sign. So sometimes when your loyalty is betrayed, it's usually due to a non-written rule. What I give to you, I am loyal to you. I do this for you. Like, these are the receipts. And to either accuse me of something that I'm not or to not reciprocate in return, that is something that could throw a Scorpio off edge. If that is the case for you here with that Tower, then I think if this is a theme for you that happens often, then I think the lesson is we can't have expectations. If we have high expectations for people that we haven't properly assessed, everything that they do will always feel personal, will always feel like it's done against us, and it's a feeling of destruction that's going to happen over and over and over again. So it's being able to understand the power dynamics, Scorpio, letting go of expectations and people that don't meet us to who we truly are, but also being allowed to receive more so we could properly assess people's intentions and motives with us. All right? Being able to discern better and not allowing those changes or people's true colors. When they do show us those true colors, we are not surprised by it. We're not controlled by it. All right, Scorpio? So I think this is actually a really good time to really assess yourself better. Once you're able to do that, you can kind of see how everyone else plays. You know, you won't be so surprised or shocked by the actions of other people. Six of Cups, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, and Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. The way I see it instantly, you have one parent that's very nurturing and giving, and you have another that's very closed off. So this was the dynamic, and it came from a space that if you felt that you grew up in a place where a lot of reciprocity wasn't given, as far as attention goes, as far as, you know, having that emotional space to express yourself, you probably felt the need to always have to nurture and defend yourself, despite people not doing that for you, Scorpio. So whatever this relationship is, or it just could be generally how you interact with other people. You know, if you're noticing consistent themes in your interactions, then you have to ask yourself, why do I assess or why do I expect things from people, and yet the outcome is always the same? So there's a common denominator, and that is you. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying you're at fault of anything. What I'm trying to say is that you have a lot more control of your receptivity and your reactions. With Scorpios, power dynamics is a huge thing, especially in relationships. I don't know what it is, but people just love to provoke. People love to challenge you. People love to put you in a position where you are submissive or less than them, and they feel better about themselves for it. And I think this has a lot to do with your upbringing, and I say that because of the Six of Cups here. You have Queen of Swords in the reverse and Queen of Cups in the upright. I wouldn't be surprised if you had parental figures or family members that you looked up to. You looked up to them, but they didn't feel the same for you. There was no protection. There was no shared resources. There was just no consideration for you, and you always had to be the one to do it for yourself. Or, as I said, there's one parent who was cut off and the other that was giving too much. So it was two extremities at the same time, which leads me to think that these Three of Coins, which looks like it's supposed to be a foundational and solid community, structure, even in terms of legality, there's just no protection here. So you always had to find it within yourself. But always having to find that protection within yourself, you're so focused on, you know, masking the kinks in your armor that you forget to take the time to kind of observe other people. And, you know, you're probably thinking to yourself, I'm always observing, I'm always watching, I'm always, you know, I have X-ray vision. Yeah, perhaps. But sometimes your loyalty will kind of steer you away from what you're meant to observe and see for what it is. There's displaced loyalty, especially with connections that formulated when you were younger. Because they formulated during a time that you didn't know how to assess, or you didn't have the experiences that you did meeting people and engaging and socializing, you're holding on to relationships that should have been let go of a long time ago. That should have expired a long time ago. That you should have established a boundary or put in their place when they crossed those said boundaries and disrespected you. That Queen of Swords is very telling to me, because although you probably didn't get the protection that you needed and the attention that you needed from said parent or any kind of a parental or authoritative figure, you are the one who also allows the actions, the disrespect, the negative reactions that people have on you. You allow them to occur when you don't say anything. So you see when you were taught that you weren't deserving of being stood up for, now you unconsciously allow people, I don't want to say allow people to push you over, but when things were said or accusations were made, you just instead kept it to yourself without really telling people what's on your mind, without really, kind of standing up for yourself. And I think in that way, there's always been a sense of like regret, remorse, loss. Like the Five of Cups isn't here, but that's what the kind of energy I'm picking up on at the same time. It does bother you. You don't say anything because I think you probably feel like it's best to keep silent, or you probably feel that these people like to provoke you purposely, and your initial reaction is to not engage in it, because if I don't show that I'm being bothered, then they don't win. And I totally get the logic. But if you're going to do that, make sure you do it because you are solid in who you are and who that person is showing you. There's no sense in being solid, silent and appearing solid, but then melting when you're by yourself. Does that make sense? So, you're giving away too much, and in a way that's decreasing your value. And let me tell you something, Scorpio. As a sign, I actually did your reading yesterday, and I'm deciding whether I should post that one or this one. Who knows? I may do both. But in that reading, it's all about understanding what true power means for Scorpio archetype. See, you're considered in Greek mythology Hades, ruler of the underworld. But what is ruler of the underworld? What is he ruling? Well, what's everything that's on earth? You have resources, you have oil, you have gas, you have water, you have diamonds, you have minerals. All things that, in politics, countries are fighting for. But you have an inexhaustible amount of it that you're always going to have people that are going to want to take it from you. Right? So, and that leaves you drained a little bit because you're giving so much and you're allowing so much to be taken from you that I don't want to say that there's not enough. That's not the case at all. But there's no time for you to rest, so you're able to fuel up on those same resources. It's like a machine that's constantly running. At some point, you got to shut it off so it rests. Even machines overheat, right? So you overheat. And then you become tired. And then it's hard to see where your value is, because then you feel an obligation to keep pumping out those resources, right? This obligation that perhaps other people put on you or that you put on yourself because you feel like you have to be the one to generate. But instead, as I told you, this year is all about you receiving more, you attracting more. And it's interesting because the reading I did yesterday, in your past or what you need to leave in the past, was the Empress card. So for some of you were the person that was constantly having these high expectations because you expected things to come to you easily, but you're not a person that sits and waits for things. You are a person that generates. But this year, when it comes to your relationships, you can't be too much of the pursuer anymore. You have to be the one, especially relationships where, people are just taking advantage of you. Now it's time to change that dynamic. That's power dynamics. You have to start to understand more what you value, what you provide, and, not allowing people that bite the hand that you feed. People love to bite your hand, and then you have to die out, and then that's when people feel it. So in this case, be the change. Don't be the one expecting changes to happen to you. Be that change for other people. Show other people that if they want to be in your life and they value you, then they have to understand what reciprocity is, because you deserve it. You provide so much. If we were to flip this around, you would be a well-manufactured machine of resources here. 100%. Once we're in this position where we're allowed to receive more, we will have a lot more in no time. But when people deplete us and then, they take from us and then make us feel less than, that's the power dynamic they also like to put us in. They like to make us feel bad. They like to make us feel like this is all we can do. We're not going to have anything better than what we get from these people here. Not at all. That's not true. That's just a way for you to be submissive, so you keep giving and giving and giving. We don't have to believe in every judgment, every comment that these people give us, regardless of who they are. All right, Scorpio, so we just kind of want to put an end into watering or tending a garden that's just going to bring in no fruition. We're going to see that super clear. That's going to be our tower moment. Something will be said, or we will have our own sense of clarity where we realize, yeah, this is not worth investing anymore. We have to look elsewhere now. Okay, Scorpio? And because the sun is there, just know that when you put up those boundaries, when you decide to end something that's not good for you anymore, better opportunities, better connections will come along. Even more energy coming your way. You'll be able to focus on what you want to pursue a lot better without the distractions of other people or the guilt and the shame that they put on us. All right? Because a lot of people, what they like to do is dangle the carrot in your face, and then they like to, these are all the false promises or the broken promises that these people have given to you. And I think you've realized that, you know what, I've seen this movie way too many times. I already know the outcome. Nothing has grown for a long time. So whatever you're giving me, dude, it doesn't even matter. There's no value in whatever this is. And this person is more of a shower than they are a giver anyway. They just like to talk about what they have, but they don't really share it with other people. Growth, love that. 5. The number 5 is a number of changes. So a lot of changes are coming in. So when these tower moments happen for you, just have faith and confidence that they're there to push you in a different direction that's more beneficial. Even if it may not feel that way at first. Look, change came again. Change came again. What was I just saying? Embrace the changes this year, Scorpio. You can handle it. Your archetype is death. It's inevitable. You're not meant to be fixated. Even the world has to shake you sometimes because you love hanging out in your den, in your scorpionic den, in the dark, in candlelight, away from people. And there's no problem in retreating every once in a while. But give yourself a time frame to do that and then get back up and do what you have to do. Don't be fixated. Don't be lazy. This is a time to make radical changes, to accept them and to grow. Because we all have a mission in life. We all have a purpose. All right. We just got to figure out whether that purpose we currently feel now is something we want to engage in. Regardless, we're in different stages all the time in life. No sense in staying in the same one. All right, Scorpio, that's your reading for Aquarius season. I do see a lot of, innovation here. And seeing things from a bigger perspective, especially when it comes to you and society and just how your inner community has been and the type of people you're keeping around and the effect that it causes. All right. Thank you for watching. I will see you in Pisces season. Take care. Bye.